Hi there, stampers and crafters. My name is Tami White from stampwithtami.com, and today we are going to be having a really fun online class. I'm really excited. We are 5 days into this brand new holiday catalog, and we did an awesome Stamp and Scoop on Friday where we shared over 70 different brand new projects with the new product line that's in this holiday catalog. Linda and I were just so excited to be able to share all of that. You can find that replay on my stampwithtami.com blog and also on my Facebook and YouTube channels. Today, we're going to be playing with the Graveyard Gate, which was one of my favorites right off the bat from this catalog. And I was so excited to play with it, and yet we didn't have any samples at the time on Friday. So obviously that was one of the first things I couldn't wait to play with is, you know, some of the stuff that I needed samples for. And obviously being one of my favorites and Halloween coming up, and it's great not just for Halloween, but also for fun birthdays in October. You know, just a fun card all around. So I'm really excited to get started with it. Welcome aboard, everybody. I see a whole bunch of you guys just popped on. Excited to see you guys here. As always, when I have a live online class or live broadcast, we are live on Facebook. And later this replay is it'll stay on Facebook, and we'll also be uploading it into YouTube. So if you leave a comment on either the live now or the, actually, if you leave a comment on the live, as always, I have prizes. So if you're here live on Facebook right now, and you have that little live square in your upper corner of the screen, that means you're live. And if you leave a comment, it means you are going to be entered into my drawing. At the end of this episode, while we're live, I am going to draw four winners, 4 prizes today. I've got 2 embellishment bundle kits here. One's basic pearl jewels. We've got glitter enamel dots. And then I've got Falling in Love embellishments. These were from a previous occasions catalog. So I have 2 sets of those, exactly the same. And I have the much coveted Tranquil Tulips Hostess stamp set. So this is a very rare, hard to get set, because you either have to have a $150 order or be the VIP club hostess or a workshop hostess to get Stampin' Rewards. To earn that free, you can't actually buy it, but you can win it here. You can also, just an FYI on these hostess stamp sets, if you're a customer of mine and you're collecting your frequent buyer points from me with your orders, and that information's on my blog on how to do that, you can redeem your frequent buyer points for hostess stamp sets. You can redeem them for any stamp sets, but these are very hard to get, and you can redeem your frequent buyer points for them. So that's another way that you can get them. Don't forget to leave a comment. You will be entered into this drawing, which I'll do at the end of this episode. Now, if you're on YouTube or you're watching the after live on Facebook, either one, on YouTube or on Facebook, and you've missed these drawings or you didn't win these drawings and you were live, don't worry. You still have a chance to win another very popular, extremely popular set here. This is the Daisy Delight stamp set. I will be doing the after live drawing on September 26th. And you enter to win the exact same way by leaving a comment on either YouTube or Facebook. Now, the bonus with the after live is that if you share this video and you type in the comments shared, S-H-A-R-E-D, shared, with a D, make sure you add that D because I search on that actual word, you will be entered into the after live drawing a second time. So you actually can double your chances of winning the Daisy Delight stamp set. Simply by sharing this video and sharing the love. Just my way of saying thank you. I love it when you guys share. It means so much to me. I love being able to come on here and do these live online classes with you. It's so much fun. And I just love being able, and you know what, sometimes I need your help. So it's fun. It's not only fun, but it's also, you guys, sometimes audience participation is important. So these are the prizes. I'll put those aside for the time being. Another thing I offer with all of my online classes is a free PDF. This is available on my blog, and you can get to it simply by clicking on the link in this video's description. This is a PDF tutorial. It's got a picture of the card that we're about to make, and it's got the measurements for everything I'm using here, as well as it's got a smart code. If you have a smartphone, you can use that to pop back to the resource page that has a replay of this video. It has all the supply lists and this PDF and any other information you need. Because if you go back to my blog, you know, if you order this stuff now, maybe you're not making it live, maybe you're going to make it in a couple of days, or if you're ordering it when it comes in, and you want to watch this video again, this is a quick and easy way to get back to it by either using the URL or the smart code. And I also have a complete supply list here, which is very, very handy. If you're not sure what color we used or the products that we used, everything is right here. I like to make it easy. I like to call that my easy button. So hopefully you guys find those helpful. This is the card that we're going to make today. Actually, this card is from Susan, and I think this is Levasseur. I can't really read the print, but this was a swap card that I got. And I absolutely loved it. And because I loved the stamp set so much, I'm like, we're going to case Susan's card and we're going to make it today because it's just awesome. I'm going to show you a couple of tips and tricks for this Graveyard Gate bundle. I found when I used it, it didn't cut. The first time I used it, it didn't cut right. And here's the just a picture of the bundle here. Oh, thank you, Kathy. She says thank you for the PDF. I'm very, very glad that you guys appreciate those and use those. So when I first started cutting this gate, the first time I used it, it didn't cut the first time I put the die through the Big Shot machine. And I was all concerned that first I had the magnetic platform, then I had the precision base plate, and I was like, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe something's wrong with my die. Well, it turns out it's not something wrong with my die. So if this has happened to you, or if you get this die and it happens to you, I want to show you how to make it cut easily. It's actually, it's easier than I thought. It's just very, very detailed, and it takes a little finesse. So I'm going to show you a trick for that. And I'm also going to show you a masking technique and some sponging techniques. And we are going to use the Sponge Brayer today. Sponge Brayer can be your friend. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I think we're going to do, I normally will stamp and then we'll do our big shots. But I think that today we are actually going to start with our big shot work. So I'm actually going to start by cutting this die in the background. And I am going to use the magnetic platform on the Big Shot die cut machine. You can also use the precision base plate, but it isn't necessary. Once I learned the trick to cutting the die, it works either way. But I did find the magnetic platform easier for the rest of the pieces that we're going to cut. So I'm going to use that. We're going to take a little piece of black. And again, all of these measurements are on that free PDF. But this right here is just a piece of black that we're going to cut using the Graveyard Gate die. Now, it's a bundle. You can purchase these individually or together. So we've got the Graveyard Gate stamp set that we'll be using for the words, open if you dare, in the back. And the detailed gate thinlits is what we'll be using right now for this gate. Okay, so this is the gate. And I'm gonna cut this all by itself. The rest of the pieces you can kind of cut all in one swoop together, but this particular piece we're gonna cut by itself. And I'm just gonna layer that on this piece of basic black. Now, I'm gonna point out here that the piece of black cardstock that I have, the gate's actually wider than it. It's totally fine, actually. I only need this gate to be 4 1/4 inches because that's the width of the card. And the gate is actually slightly longer than that because you can make these doors that open, which maybe we'll do on another project. But for today, we're actually just going to put this straight down. So it's not important that the die is wider than the actual cardstock today. So I'm going to put one cutting pad on top. I've got one cutting pad underneath, and I'm going to crank it through. Okay, and I'm going to show you what happened. And this is what happened to me the first time, and I got really worried. So if it happens to any of you, you'll know what to do from here. Okay, so the first time I did it, I lifted that up and I went, oh my gosh, the die didn't cut all the way through. Oh no, maybe I shouldn't use the magnetic platform. And then I was like, oh, something's not right with my die. So I went through all these things in my head. And then I actually realized that because this die is so detailed and so involved, it actually needs to go through the Big Shot multiple times. So this is my big tip for this die. I'm actually going to just run it back and forth through the die, through the Big Shot machine a couple of times here to cut that. So it actually really is kind of easy to cut. There was really, no cause for alarm, but I do want to point this out because, if you guys use this die, if you love it as much as I do and you want to use it, I want you to know that when you get it, you do want to do this. Now, I ran that through a couple of times, probably right here might be okay, but I would like to run it through a couple more times just to make sure that these get a nice clean cut there. I mean, they're probably okay, but I'm just going to give it 1 or 2 more swings through just to make sure that's okay. Okay. Alrighty. So maybe one more time. Just one more time for good measure. Yes, Catherine and Diana both saying, I love this die. I'm with you. I absolutely love, love, love this die. Okay, so I see a little piece in here in the very, very center that may or may not be cut. I don't know if you can see that right there. I can see it on there. I can't tell if it's cut through or not. I think it's probably okay. Let's see if I can find the paper piercer and just poke it just to check it. Actually, you know what? This little die brush helps. I know I'm supposed to be doing this on foam, but I just want to see if that's actually cut or if I should send it through one more time just to make sure. Actually, it looks like it's probably cut, but I am going to send it through again because I'm all about precautionary measures. Okay. Kendra, I am taking one for the team for you. She says, I appreciate your problem solving with the gate die. It does not have to be repositioned, Michael's saying. I see you rotated it. No, it doesn't need to be repositioned. I don't know why I did that. That's not important. Okay, so now this time I think it's all good. Can you see that right there? This is the portion I wasn't sure if it cut, but I think we're good here. We're going to give it a go. All right, so the next thing that I found very important with this die is using the die brush that I just had here. Now this comes as a set. Sometimes I put it in a half wood mount case. Today I don't have this in it, but this is the die brush and the foam pad come together. So I'm going to start in that center piece and just work it really good. Make sure that little die gets all into all of those little nooks and crannies to get all those little pieces out. This is kind of therapeutic too. It's fun. Okay, so, all right. Do you see that little center section right there? I mean, it doesn't look like these two little things are coming out. So I do think they need to be cut a little bit more. So I'm going to send them through. See them right there? I'm going to send them through again. And that is one reason why. Donna's asking why you're not using the precision plate. When I made my sample, I found that I didn't need it. Although right now I'm thinking maybe I do. But when I made the original, I did it just fine with the magnetic platform once I realized that I had to kind of send it through a couple of times. And the reason for that is once it went through a couple of times, it really kind of cut everything and I was fine. And because the next part of this card that I'm going to do was better with the magnetic platform. It was just easier because it helps line everything up. Okay. Yes, and Barbara, you are right. The details do take a little bit longer. Okay. I do see them cutting out now, so hopefully that's okay. I'm just going to leave this big shot right here. Just in case we want one more pass. Yeah, it doesn't look like that. You know what? I might retract my statement and say you do want to use the precision base plate on this one. Okay. I'm just going to peel that out because it doesn't look like... No, you know what? No, they're cut. They're cut. We just need a little bit more. We just need a little bit more brushing here. You're right. A shim probably would help that too. Yes. Oh, those awkward moments when things just don't go the way you originally had done them to go. Okay. somewhere in my bag of tricks, I have a, there it is. I have a paper piercer to poke everything out here. There we go. All right. If they don't come out, you're just gonna play along with me, right? And then maybe you do want to use the precision base plate, but when I did my original, it did just fine with the magnetic platform. So oh, it doesn't want to come out. All right, you guys, I do apologize for that, because it did cut fine earlier. Just my luck. Okay. So a little tip there, use the precision base plate. I'm just going to go forward with the rest of the card, and we might revisit this after. Okay, so the next piece of the card, cutting, is going to use the rest of the pieces from the Detailed Gate die. And that is, this is going to cut out, this top is going to cut out our perfect plum. And this is why I really liked using the magnetic platform, because when I was cutting these pieces, I just found it was easier to line them up. And of course, nothing is behaving for me today. It's just one of those days. Thanks for bearing with me, you guys. Lisa's like, you always roll with the punches. Yeah, and there's always punches to roll with when it's me. Okay, so the other two pieces of this die are the key and this little lock, which I just think are absolutely adorable. We're going to cut those from some silver foil. And I'm also, at the same time, going to cut I've got the layering squares dies here. And I've taken, this is the second largest, I believe, of the squares, and the second largest of the scallops in this layering squares die. And the scallop one is going to be, is that the right? Yeah, okay. Scallop one is going to be cut with the silver foil, and then the white is going to be cut with the straight up square. And then one more little piece here, and these are actually the seasonal tags dies. All I want from here is this bat, and we're going to need to cut him 3 times, so he's going to need to go through a couple more times. But I'm just using the actual scrap from that gate that we just cut. Okay, and I'll stick him on there, and then we are going to go, everything can get cut at once for this portion. All right. Thanks, you guys. Michael's like, I love when you show us how to regroup. I'm good at that. I'm very good at that. Okay. So I didn't explain this, but I did put a little Post-it note on here because this edgelet was moving around like a little ghost was in the machine there. So I didn't want it to move around, so I took the Post-it note to kind of stop that from happening. So now we've got all of our cut pieces. Let's get that paper piercer back out there and poke out those little pieces. And look at how adorable that is with the silver foil. Isn't that so stinking cute? Okay. And then we've got our lock, same thing. So it looks so realistic with that silver foil. So that's also available in my online store. If you're not familiar with that fun stuff. Okay, and we've got square and our batty. So we do need to cut 3 bats, but I pre-cut the rest of them for you. So through the magic of Facebook Live, we have those all done. And let me just grab a couple of bats. So we've got our pieces here cut. And you know what? I just don't feel right that gate didn't come out the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to redo this gate with the precision base plate, which I happen to have handy. Are you guys up with that? Are you good with that if I go ahead and redo that? Because I just feel like I want it to be perfect. And I want it to cut right, and I want you guys to be able to, I'll update my form because I want you guys to be able to when you make yours, I want it to be awesome. So I did bring an extra piece of black into the studio with me today. I don't know why. I must have just been feeling it. Okay. So I've got the Big Shot platform, the thin die adapter that comes with it, and this is the precision base plate. So we're going to put that down. I'm going to take a piece of black cardstock, and we're going to take that gate die back that we just had here and stick that on top this way. All right, and if you missed earlier, it's okay that the, it's kind of hard to see this actually. I need to back the camera angle out a little bit. Okay, it's okay that the cardstock is actually smaller than the die because it just needs to fit our on our card, which is only 4 1/4 inches, and the die is a little bit wider than that. Okay, so I've got one cutting pad on top, and I'm going to send it through with the precision base plate a couple of times. And if you are new to the Big Shot, if you have a new one and did you hear that noise that it just made? I know when I have classes, people freak out when it does that. That is totally, this is a normal click noise of the Big Shot machine. You are not breaking it when you do that. Okay. So one more time, just for good measure. Okay. And let's take a look at it oh, look at how beautiful that is. Now I'm sorry I didn't use that precision base plate in the first time. Okay, I am going to update that PDF so that it also includes the precision base plate, because even though the magnetic platform worked for me the first time, the second time it didn't work as good. So that's my tip for you. Run it through multiple times. Use the precision base plate just to be safe. Okay, now we can finish our card. You know what? I'm happy to make these mistakes. Take one for the team for you guys so that when you go to do it, you're all good. Everything works out awesome for you guys. So you don't have to go through what I went through. I'm happy to do that for you. That is my job as your Stampin' Up demonstrator. Okay, so I'm taking the die brush again, but this time it's going to come out so much easier. Did you guys see the difference in the die just now when I flipped it upside down? How different it looked when you could actually see that it had cut all the way through? You guys are so funny. I love it. I love the emoticons. Thank you. Okay. I got cheers out there. Thanks, guys. All right, so get that die brush in there real good, because the better you do with the die brush now, the easier it is to poke everything out. So before I pull the whole thing off, I'm just gonna... We're making confetti too. Did you know that? We have all this confetti. Oh, I do so love this die so much. I think we'll be playing with this one a lot. I just think it is so cool. And you know what? I have seen some really cool things done with it that weren't even Halloween. I saw, and somebody mentioned this, I think, on here a few minutes ago, that somebody had used it for like a wedding card and made like a beautiful white gate, which was awesome. There's so many cool ideas to come with this. So what I was just given a visual scan on the back to see if any pieces, like right here, I've got a little area. I don't know if you can see that right there, where I want to just run the die brush over it. Make sure that that all pops out. And if anything doesn't come out, you can always use your, oh my gosh, I'm drawing of the pokey guy, this guy right here. If you have any pieces that are not behaving, this will poke them out. Like there's a couple pieces right there on that gate that need some extra attention. Okay. So this came out so much better. And you see how much easier it is? It does. It looks so much, and again, precision base plate. Okay, so I'm sold. I shouldn't have even tried to do it with the magnetic platform, but it worked for me the first time. I guess it's just one of those things. Okay. If you want things to go smoothly, just do it right the first time. Don't try to... I was just thinking that I could show you guys with the magnetic platform because I was using that with the other pieces anyways. But you can also use the precision base plate with the other pieces too. So I'm just using the little poker on the couple little pieces that are still in there. I don't know if you can you see that okay? I'm sorry if I was holding that in the wrong spot. All right. Got just a couple little pieces up here. And woot woot. All right, so I think we are ready to move on to the rest of our card. Are you guys ready? Oh, I got two little pieces in here that are not behaving. Come on. Oh, no, no, no. All right, I'm leaving them in there. I'm leaving them in there for the purpose of this video. Okay, so next up, we're going to do some masking and we're going to do some sponging. So you could do this on white. In fact, the original was done on Whisper White. I'm going to use some Daffodil Delight here. I'm going to just take one of these pieces of paper for some scrap paper to put underneath. And I've got some pumpkin pie ink. Okay. Oh, thank you. She says that looks so beautiful. It does. It's so cool. I love this die. I love it. I could not wait to play with it. So we're taking the Sponge Brayer and Post-it notes. And I've got a 1 1/4 inch circle punch. It's going to be our, I don't know if this is maybe a moon. I think it's a full moon. I haven't decided if I think it's a sun or full moon. So we're just going to punch a circle out of that Post-it note. And I made sure that there's a little bit of sticky on that circle. So it goes right up there in the upper right hand corner of our card. And then I'm going to take the Sponge Brayer and we're just going to get some ink on that. And we're going to ink up just the top portion of our card with some pumpkin pie ink. Now, if you did this with Whisper White instead of the Daffodil Delight cardstock that I'm using, then you would want to take a little Daffodil Delight ink for that sun. Monica is asking to zoom out. I can. I just wanted you guys to really get a close-up of what was happening. So I'll go out a little bit. But sometimes there's some details here that I really want you guys to be able to catch. So hopefully that helps. Okay. All right. So that's really probably enough there for our pumpkin pie. And then here's the beautiful part about the masking. When you take off that piece of Post-it note, you get your cool little moon. So that's all set to go. So now we can go ahead and do our stamping on our square that we've done here. I'm taking some Perfect Plum ink, and from that stamp set, that Graveyard Gate stamp set, is the Open If You Dare stamp. Just going to stamp that in Perfect Plum right in the center. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a little sponge. I've got a little wedge of a Stampin' Sponge here. I'm going to sponge around the edges of that. And the edges of our background, just to give it a little depth. And then this is going to go, I'm going to use snail for this part. This is going to go ahead and layer onto our card. I'm pretty much going to use snail for everything but that gate. Okay, I'll zoom out now so you guys have a little bit more of a view here. But I did want you to see that sponging up close. I really do like this new Sponge Brayer. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that when they replaced the old rubber brayer, but I really am enjoying it. I find that it doesn't give you the same lines that the old brayer gave you. So I'm taking some snail to attach our words together. And then, while we are, before I stick this on here, one little embellishment that I love here is Wink of Stella. I love Wink of Stella. And Susan used this on the bats. Just, it's a glimmer brush. Probably should zoom in for this, because you're probably not going to be able to see it if I'm out too far. but can you see it? It makes them shimmer. So because that takes a second to dry, I'm just going to go ahead and do that and put the bats to the side while I put the gate on. Actually, if you wanted to, you could probably do the whole gate in the Wink of Stella, and that would make it pearly. The pearly gate. So, I'm going to actually keep that out here because I don't know where my silicone mat is that I usually... Oh, here it is. I usually use this when I'm doing adhesive because I find that it takes all the sticky from getting on your station. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take, this is the, whoops, did not mean to throw that, the fine tip glue pen. And for this particular project, you could use snail if you wanted to, but there's an awful lot of poking to get it through these detailed pieces that would be involved there. So I am just going to go ahead and use this. This is actually, it's that tip is, it's so fine that it's great for these tiny little layers on here. This is a very detailed die, which is part of its beauty, is the detail in it. But that's why you want something like this for adhesive as well. So we'll just kind of dab it along some of these pieces. You don't have to get everything. Okay. And that is just going to go right over the top. All right, did I not measure something right here? Because that's too short. I wonder if my daffodil piece might be too big. Let's see how it goes with our card base. No. I think the black piece that I had here for this gate, the second gate that I cut, I don't think it would, I think it was only 4 inches and not 4 1/4. So it's slightly shorter, but you know what? It's still beautiful. It still works. So we're just going to roll with it because that's what we do here on the Stamp with Tami channel. We roll with it, baby. I'm going to use some adhesive on the back of this, and that's going to attach our panel to the card base. Okay, and oh, I'm so glad you guys are. I am glad that you appreciate the techniques and that you've learned stuff from it, because that's my goal. In the end, that is my goal, that you guys learn how to do some new techniques and add some sparkle and pizzazz to your projects. I'm gonna take this this key. I'm just gonna use the snail here for this one and stick it down the bottom, and maybe we're gonna stick it to the top today. And then I'm taking, I guess we can use a regular dimensional or a mini dimensional on the back of this greeting. But we definitely want those new mini dimensionals for the back of the other pieces. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put this in a different spot. I'm going to put it over here today because it's going to cover up my boo-boo. And we're going to take the lock and some of these brand new pearls. They're black rhinestone jewels. And these are the mini, see the mini, tiny little mini dimensionals? You want those for this lock because otherwise they show through. And that just sticks right on the back. Oh, thanks, Kathy. She's like, this card is spooktacular. It is. It's such a cool card. All right, so this lock is going to go right over here, and the rhinestone is going to go right on the handle to make it look like it's the doorknob of the gate. And then we're just going to give these bats each one of these mini dimensionals on the back to stick them down. So they each pop up. And I think the original only had 2 bats on it, but in my version, we're just going batty. We're going to have one going through the moon. To me, that's a full moon. To you, maybe it's a sun, but to me, it's a full moon. Going to have some flying over here. you can never have too many bats on a project, right? I'm all for multiple bats. All right, and there's our card. It is complete. It is so fun. Such a fun die to play with. So mine, because Susan's original, she did this on Whisper White and used a little dab on hers. And then here's where the gate actually was cut the right size originally. This is mine. So you can see my inking is a little bit darker. They're both awesome. They're both awesome cards. So fun. Such a fun set to play with. You can be looking for some more Graveyard Gate ideas. I will be using this one again for sure because I just love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm sorry, I got confetti stuck everywhere. All right, what did you guys think? Do you like it? Love it! Are you guys ready for some prizes? Because it's prize patrol time. As always, at the end. Oh, thanks for the hearts. Back at ya. At the end of my episode, it is time to give away some free stuff. So if you've left a comment here on Facebook Live, you are entered into the live drawing. And if you're watching the replay, still leave a comment, you'll be entered into our afterlive drawing. So I've got 4 live drawings right now. We're going to pop on over to that. Bear with me for 1 second. Here we go. And oh my gosh, I love all the hearts. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to give away here is 2 embellishment kits. These are pearls, metal, I'm sorry, not metal, glittery enamel dots, and the Falling in Love embellishments, which are no longer available. So these are actually kind of cool because they're hard to get product. Oh, silly. We'll just get right back in there, and hopefully that takes us right back to the, oh, thank you, Tina. She says, awesome as usual. Oh, of course, this didn't take us right back to the right one. Bear with me. 1 more second. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. Here we go. So, here is, I'm going to make sure I click on the right one. There we go. And the first winner of the embellishment kit is Kathy Rathke Scruggy. Hope I said that right. And the second winner is embellishment kit Sue Holtz Nelson. Congratulations, Kathy and Sue. Be sure to fill out the prize claim form on the top of my, in this video description. Okay, so next I've got the 2 Tranquil Tulips stamp set. These are the hard-to-get Hostess stamp set that you can only get with Stampin' Rewards or with my frequent buyer point program. I've got 2 of these to give away. The first winner is Cheryl Lee Addy, and the second winner of the terrific Tranquil Tulips stamp set is Barbara Curran. So be sure to fill out the prize claim form. Cheryl, Barbara, Sue, and Kathy, congratulations, and thank you everyone for watching. I will be back on Friday with another online class. And don't forget to leave a comment and share this video for the Afterlive video entries, which I will be doing on September 26th. That's the Daisy Delight. And here it is one more time real quick. September 26th for the Daisy Delight. All right, guys. I will see you back here on Friday. Thanks for joining me today.